everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another news update. A very special news update actually, because this week Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter released their end of year awards. I know that it's not 2017 anymore, we're well into 2018, we're like 3 months in, but often the Wrestling Observer awards get released a little bit later on because they take into account a lot of votes from everywhere. And yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So what I'm going to do is run through like the main awards, give my thoughts on each, and then you can leave your opinions in that little comment section down below, and we'll see whether we agree that wrestling's good and why it's good, or whether we'll disagree on why it's good and all get into a big argument. So all the big awards we're going to talk about: Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, Feud of the Year, and also some of the worst ones: most overrated, worst match, that sort of thing. So we'll get right into it with the best of the 2017 Wrestling Observer End of Year Awards. I must point out, do not laugh at the way that I pronounce yeah. You know when there's 12 months and together in a collection of, and it's got a special number, I can't say that word properly because of my accent. And a lot of people tweet me and leave comments saying like, you can't pronounce yeah properly. I say yeah. Why you double R? Let's just leave that and let's just move on and accept that I can't say that word properly, and I'm sorry. First up, Match of the Year, which is like, it was only ever going to be one of a few matches, wasn't it? 2017 was an insane time for match quality. There were a lot of 5-star matches dished out by Meltzer, and a lot of people were raving about various different matches online throughout the calendar year, but it was probably going to be a match involving Kazuchika Okada, wasn't it? He had some wars against Kenny Omega, of course. He had that unbelievable Sakura Genesis main event against Katsuyori Shibata, and in the end, ultimately, it is one of Okada's matches, but I'm delighted and slightly surprised to report that the 2017 Match of the Year is the Wrestle Kingdom match between Okada and Omega. Okada-Omega won. Now, this personally was my favourite match of 2017 as well, but many people, the general consensus online seemed to be that the second match from Dominion was better, the one that ended in a draw when Okada was crawling across the ring and time expired before he could make the cover on Omega. But no, the one that's won out is the first match. The one that I slightly preferred, maybe a bit less dramatic in terms of like the booking, but just as a sheer work rate and psychology epic. I can't wax lyrical enough about how good this match was. That is the Wrestling Observer match of 2017. Second is the match at Dominion, the one where Bullet Club got involved, which ended in a draw. And third is that match against Shibata as well. Okada's had an incredible 2017, and although his 2018 hasn't got off to quite as good a start, we know that he can always be relied upon to deliver in some huge matches. Next up, Wrestler of the Year 2017, which is a combination of like work rate and charisma, I guess, because there's specific categories for each and different types of wrestlers and stuff later on, which we'll look at. But this is the more general award for the best wrestler of 2017, and kind of predictably, it has gone to Kazuchika Okada again. Second was Kenny Omega, who had those 3 unbelievable matches with Okada, and third was Tetsuya Naito, who captured all of our imaginations with his tranquilo ways. Los Ingobernable. I can't do it, I'm not as cool as him. Not as cool by a long shot. Next up, it's like the Academy Awards this, we're really rattling through. Next up, Most Outstanding Wrestler, which I guess is just purely based on work rate rather than the total package. But again, it was won by Okada, a double winner. Congratulations, Kazuchika, you cheeky man. Next up, second was Kenny Omega, and third wasn't Naito, it was in fact WWE's AJ Styles, who I think we can all agree had a phenomenal 2017. You see what I did there? You know what I'm talking about. And now on to Most Charismatic, where we encounter a little bit of a problem I have with the Wrestling Observer Awards, because sometimes Meltzer likes to lump in MMA fighters with wrestlers in categories where I really think they should be kept separate. I haven't mentioned the MMA categories in this video, but if you want to check them out, obviously get a subscription to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. But in this category, Tetsuya Naito won Most Charismatic, congratulations to him, but second place was Conor McGregor. And I'm not doubting that McGregor's a very charismatic individual and sells fights based on his mouth a lot of the time, as well as his unbelievable fighting skill, but I don't know if he should be in the same category. It's a very different thing, isn't it, cutting a wrestling promo and selling an MMA fight? Maybe it's not that different a thing, but I reckon it's different enough that the category shouldn't be the same. Third place went to Kenny Omega, and I can't really complain with that. All 3 are very charismatic guys, it's just should fighters be in the same category? Let me know your thoughts. Next up, best on interviews, or best promo, I guess, because promo cutting and charisma is kind of a different thing. I think that'll be demonstrated by the person who came in second, but first place again was Conor McGregor, so it's a bit of a strange one, because again, he's a great promo, if you can call it that, but are they promos, or is it just him talking about his opponents and kind of freewheeling? he's not adhering to a script, is he? Or is he? You might think that MMA is just as fixed as pro wrestling when it comes to making feuds and manufacturing hatred between two people who really don't care about each other, or in some cases actually quite like each other. Second in that award was Chris Jericho, and third was The Miz, and I think that's a pretty good shout because, as I said, charisma and promo cutting are slightly different things. You can see that Naito were most charismatic. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the best on the mic. I mean, I don't speak Japanese, I can't understand what he's saying, but I think that the fact that he can win that award without ranking in the top 3 of best promos kind of shows that charisma is often about how you move, how you carry yourself, as well as how you talk. So slightly different categories there, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate them being separate. Thanks, Dave. Stop including MMA fighters in it though. Next up, some subcategories where I'm only going to mention the winner because there's a few to get through, but Best Technical Wrestler went to Zack Sabre Jr. quite predictably, not only because when you watch his match you can see that he's the best technical wrestler in the world, but also because he's won that award I think every year since Daniel Bryan retired, and probably will do for the foreseeable future. So well done, Zack. I can't think of any obvious candidates. Not that there's not any other good technical wrestlers in the world, just that there's no one as good as Zack whose game is based as deeply around technique and submissions and that sort of thing. Best Brawler went to Tomohiro Ishii. Again, no complaints. It is the 4th year in a row that he's won it as well. In these subcategories, a lot of the time you'll find that it's hard to nudge someone off the top spot just because of the sheer consistency. Like if Ishii was the best brawler in 2016, it's more than likely that he's going to be the best brawler in 2017 until eventually, I guess, he gets too old or gets injured or something or just retires. But for now, Tomohiro Ishii is best brawler. I can think of a few people that could take that from him in the next few years, but I'm not going to complain with it. I mean, Sam will be happy. And he's editing this video, I think, and he'll probably put a little thing now, like maybe that yay sound or something like that. Best Flying Wrestler, an award that was won in 2015 by Ricochet and 2016 by Ospreay, has been won in 2017 by Ospreay again. And like Ishii and like Zack Sabre Jr., I'm not sure if I can see anybody nudging him from the top spot for the foreseeable future, unless NXT just cut Ricochet loose and say, look, do what you want, go out there and do loads of flips and stuff, Ricochet, mate. But even if they did, I think that Ospreay is, well, he's younger for one, and I think that he is very, very good, the best in the world when it comes to weaving his flips into a storyline, and I think that's very important indeed. Most Improved went to Braun Strowman. I think we can all agree that's a pretty good shout because he's gone from being kind of a lumbering, immobile big man to one of the most terrifying wrestlers on the WWE roster, and a pretty decent wrestler as well. He moves now with such speed for such a big guy. I'm not saying he's as quick as some of the cruiserweights, obviously, but sometimes when he springs off the ropes and like clotheslines someone or gets to his feet really fast, Strowman's a genetic freak, man. He's very, very good now at portraying his own character. I'm not going to say he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he's very good at what he does. Second in this, I'll mention second and third in this one because it was quite interesting. Second was Juice Robinson, who was formerly of NXT, didn't really do much, went over to New Japan and has really found his feet, kind of like what Doc Gallows did when he went over there. And third was the Velveteen Dream, who I am tremendously excited about. I think Velveteen Dream, by the end of 2018, could be one of my favorite wrestlers. He is superb. Tag Team of the Year was the Young Bucks, which I guess makes sense. I mean, Meltzer likes them, they like Meltzer, but they are one of the most innovative, game-changing tag teams in the history of wrestling. The Usos were second after the good work they did in 2017, obviously feuding with the New Day and that sort of thing. And then Promotion of the Year, New Japan won. Wasn't too surprised with that, they put on some tremendous shows. Then Ring of Honor was second, then WWE was third, and I thought maybe the strength of NXT last year would have nudged WWE up into second place, but I guess the quality of some of their main roster shows has dragged that down slightly. So Ring of Honor was second, WWE was third. I kind of disagree. I might have popped WWE in second instead, but well done New Japan. Once again, they are the best promotion in the world of wrestling. Most Underrated has been won by Cesaro for the past few years now, and it's finally been broken. The streak is over. He is no longer the most underrated wrestler in the opinion of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. That accolade instead goes to a man I think could hold this award for quite some time if WWE don't push him, Rusev. It's Rusev Day, we love him, and he is very underrated. It's not by the fans, but certainly by the people in charge of making him look good. Then we get on to some of the more negative awards. So Most Overrated went to Jinder Mahal, who received 500 more votes than the second place man, who was Roman Reigns. Jinder Jinder's not had a great time of it, has he? Poor Jinder. I mean, to be fair to him, I can't go to bed at night saying I'm a former WWE champion, and he can. So well done there. Worst match of the year was Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, a match I had the privilege of being there to see live at WrestleMania 33. The one where Wyatt projected some insects into the ring. Their feud also won worst feud of the year because not only did it have that match, it also had the House of Horrors match. And if you remember that, it was quite something. That brings me on to worst show of the year, again featuring poor Randy Orton, who, I'd like to stress, I don't think is a bad wrestler. I think he's a good wrestler. He's got a tremendous sense of timing. He's done it all in his career, but he did have a bit of a stinker in terms of booking and storylines in 2017, didn't he? So he was a big feature of the worst show of the year, which was voted as Battleground 2017, which of course he main evented against Jinder Mahal in a Punjabi prison match, where the Great Khali came back and helped Jinder retain. Yes, come on. And just to end on a positive note, show of the year 2017, well, it feels like a long time ago now because it was over a year ago. It was right at the start of 2017, and it was Wrestle Kingdom, which was headlined by the match of the year, Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega, but also featured some wonderful matches like Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Tanahashi, and what was the other big one? Ooh, I can't remember it. Oh, yes, Shibata versus Goto. Wonderful. So that's it for this news update / rundown of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards for 2017. Congratulations to all the winners, apart from those who won the worst ones. But doesn't mean that I don't think you're any good. It just means that maybe you had a bad year for factors out of your control. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. Thank you very much for watching this special video. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack. I forgot my own Twitter handle. I'm so excited about the awards. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack the Jobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic and check out our Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Cultaholic. And one more thing, never, ever forget to join us.